Right, next out of the gates from Waiheke Whiskey is the Seris 1. Not Series 1,
No.
Seris 1. I have already forgotten the definition of that one. What's that
is
up
taken from the Arabic name for Seris, the famous origin of sherry.
Interesting. Oh well, a bit of a connection there, because this one is aged in part in Australian Apera,
Yes.
which is the Australian name for sherry, and it is pretty much just sherry. They just can't call it that because it's protected. So pretty much we're going to be looking for a moderate peat here, because this is the peated, not the lightly peated, not the heavily peated, so it's going to be halfway between. And yeah, looking for some extra richness and fruitiness from the sherry oak.
6 years old and 42% ABV. This is matured primarily in American oak, then finished in a PX style Australian fortified wine barrel.
And if you've been keeping up, the previous one was something of a winner. It got a 90 from Dave straight out the gate, so we're already well in the mix here.
Yeah.
Can this one do even
Be
more?
more peat, but more sweetness, I'm thinking, because of the different mix of barrels, but then their higher peating level. So we'll see how that balances out.
Interestingly.
But
And
older too, an extra year of age.
Yes, indeed. I think that extra peat has influenced a drier nose here.
I'm getting big barley sugars and lemon and ginger.
Yeah, I think that sweet and floral element of the spirit is so strong and so dominant. It's taken this level of peat to really come up above it and truly express itself. So I think we're now dealing with the first truly peat-driven nose. The last one was peat-influenced, but I think that extreme force of sweet floral character coming from the spirit, that was still large and in charge. This one, I think we are starting to see a lot more of those peated characteristics coming through.
Waiheke's own tasting notes speak of a lot of sweetness and spice on the nose. That's certainly an agreement there. Citrus too, and a bit of fruit. With probably the peat looks like it's going to come in more on the palate. That's there on the nose, but it's not hugely influential yet because there's so much else going on.
I'm getting quite a lot of honeyed nuts in here, a bit of peanut brittle coming through.
Yeah, there's all kinds of florals, lots of orange cloves as well.
Right, I'm going in.
Oh, there it is. That's where the peat sneaks up on you. That's right in there, bringing down that otherwise intensely sweet and spicy mix.
It's
throwing
still,
it back towards the drier end of the
it's
spectrum.
still there though, isn't it?
It is though, yeah.
That sweet spirit character is astonishing. I wonder, it must be something to do with those stills. It must be something to do with that extra copper, because the sweetness of that spirit is incredible.
Oh.
And it is still here, even under that increased peating level. There's violet in here as well, as well as the elderflower. There's just a superb amount of things going on here.
It's just so aromatic and kind of perfumey. There's all kinds of wood and bark and spice notes. And the peat is still, again, it's not like with a heavily peated Scotch whiskey where it's just a whack of contrasting maritime, coaly, briny, fusty peat. Fusty, is that one they use for peat?
Fusty. Fusty is, you could use fusty for peat. Fusty is kind of in between peat.
Oh, it's the dry, dusty,
savoury
and smell.
Fusty is a debatable.
It's its own thing.
Debatably broad.
No, it's not the same kind of juxtaposition of peat versus sweet here. The peat is much more kind of harmonious. It's very much on the same kind of a track. It blends in so well. So you're drinking peated whiskey, but it's not a bunch of fruity, sweet, spicy flavours contrasted with peat. Instead, they're all part of a harmonious whole.
Yeah. I think harmonious is the takeaway from this one.
Yeah.
The peat now is very much supplying its own character. It's strong enough, and we're going to try one more that's even peatier than this one, so we'll see just how long it can really sustain.
I'd love to know what's driving that kind of alchemy here. It's whether it's the local peat, the local grain, the unique kinds of stills, the warm climatic maturation, or some combination of all of those factors. Because this is
I'll say this: this is even better than the last one, and I've got that sinking feeling that you sometimes get one applying scores, and you're going to be doing more in the sequence, and it's like, oh no, was I too generous on the first one, and now the whiskey's getting better, and have I scored myself into a corner, and I'm either going to have to be mean or look ridiculously super generous, because I started with that, was it 86 or 87? Goodness knows, we'll go back to the tape on that one. Good consistency here. This is now an 89, and it's very, very close to a 90. So,
well, I'm staying consistent. This is again a 90. It is exactly as good as the first offering, just in different ways. It has different strengths, which drive it in different directions. It's so different from the previous offering, but has a lot of the same high points in common. Just the strength of the sweet characters, the way it incorporates the peat. It's just another truly harmonious, special dram.
I'm going to esoterically call this one worryingly better, because I know I've got one still to go, and it's another full year older, with, in this case, heavily peated. So wish me luck. Wish me luck. Have I written myself into a corner or not? We will find out. Slanger, we'll be right back.